Hi there, and welcome to today, because today is Buddha Day. So the 26th of May in 2021, and it's also a total eclipse of the moon today. So it's a big day. And I'm here in my favorite meditation spot. I have lots of meditation spots around the place, but this is the one that I meditate. Usually sit here early in the morning, and I wanted you to see my view. That's why the light's a bit strange, because I look at the sun rising behind me. That's the gift that I have every morning when I have my meditation practice. So I thought today it would be nice for me to talk to you a little bit about how I use meditation in my own life, how I think about meditation, and then how I might work with meditation with you in coaching, and how it works for many of my clients. So I think the first thing to say is, I came across meditation about, I think it was 14 years ago, when I was actually going through, or the beginning of going through my divorce, which was an excruciatingly painful time, so painful. And I went to a talk called The Psychology of Happiness by a man who was a forensic criminologist and a meditator and a Buddhist. And he was fascinated by the criminal mind and what lies behind the criminal mind and what is our true nature. And his talk started me on this journey of meditation and integrating meditation and meditation practice into my life every day and using it in my coaching. And I think I also want to say is I coach women across all spiritual disciplines or practices, so all religions, whether it's spiritual, whether it's New Age, whether it's nothing, whether it is Muslim, whether it is Christian. We talk about a contemplative practice of their tradition or of your tradition. So it can be prayer, it can be meditation, because some people get a little bit uncomfortable that this is a tradition coming from the East. It's become far more normal to talk about meditation and to do meditation. But if clients are not happy with that, we look at other ways to integrate a contemplative practice, a quietening practice, because that's what this is, a way of working with our minds. And Buddha presented it in a very scientific way, because it's about experimenting with our own minds. So taking teachings, taking ideas, and then putting it into our lives and seeing if it works for us. So I like to think of meditation as almost being 4 parts to it. And it's not like it's 4 steps, although they do build on each other, because we're always going in between the 4 different aspects of meditation. And this is my understanding. So, this is not coming from any particular tradition. And the very first one, and I think we all have heard about it now, it's quite popular, is mindfulness. And I mean, even Google and Amazon have, mindfulness courses that you can do as an employee. So mindfulness has become a very well-known word in the mainstream of the West. But the basic, I suppose, brilliance of mindfulness is it's asking us to be in the now. And it sounds crazy because I'm in the now, I'm here. Of course I'm in the now. But this practice, believe it or not, we need to practice it to be here now. And that's here as in here where our thoughts are here and our emotions are here. So we're all together with our body, and then to feel our body in the here and now space. Because primarily what's happening is our thoughts are not here. Our thoughts are somewhere in the future or somewhere in the past. Yes. So for example, my brain likes to go to the future. So if you ask, what does my brain like to do when it's bored? My brain likes to plan and it likes to visualize the future. My husband's brain likes to look at the past and reminisce on the past and think about the past and make connections with the past and the future and what's going on now. So neither of us are in the present. So mindfulness is a practice that we develop, a skill, a muscle to be present here and now, our thoughts, our feelings, and our bodies. So that's really the first stage. Then the next one is kind of meditation that many of you will know about. And it's the meditations that if you follow those guided meditations on the podcast, that's the space that we're playing in with these. And this is around just settling. And we go through our days so fast. We're on autopilot most of the time. We're on hyperdrive. We're driven by, cortisol. We're driven by adrenaline, and we're running. And yeah, we're not even present in the day, but it's fast, fast, fast. And we're often stressed. And so sitting quietly in a quietening practice and letting things settle is extraordinarily calming. It can really help shift our brain waves into those calm, long, deep brain waves. And that's why often after a meditation practice, even a yoga practice, we feel so calm and relaxed. And so many of us are practicing this kind of meditation, and a nice word of using that is called Shine meditation. So calm, abiding, so just resting. So that's really important and very important. Can you see this fly flying around? It's come to our talk. Cheeky thing. And so that's really like where many of us are playing. Then what happens is the more we practice meditation and this calm, abiding meditation and mindfulness, is the more we grow this incredible ability to observe our brains, to observe our minds, almost as if we're separate from them. I know it sounds extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, it's like, how do you observe your brain with your brain? But you can, and you can actually step outside your stream of consciousness and watch it. And from this place, we then get a lot of insight and a lot of ways of working with our brains. One of the ways I like to describe this ability to my clients is, in fact, all two ways actually, because it can work quite well. The first one is if you watch a lot of news, you'll know what I'm talking about. At the bottom of the news screen, so if you're watching CNN or you're watching Fox or you're watching BBC, at the bottom of the screen, there's the share prices running all the time, never stops. So it's called the ticker tape, actually, ticker tape, and it's running the share prices constantly. No matter what's going on the screen, this is running. So that's like our stream of consciousness. It's always going, never stops. The other way I like to describe it is if you think of yourself sitting on a chair behind a waterfall. So you're on the chair and the waterfall's coming down here in front of you, and your thoughts are the waterfall, and you're separate from the water, but you're observing the waterfall. So that's what we start to build, somewhere between the calming meditation, Shine meditation, and insight meditation, is this ability to watch the waterfall. And from there we can ask ourselves very powerful questions about our habitual patterns. And this is the place where we get insight into the nature of our own minds. What are the patterns that are playing out in our minds? What are our personality patterns, our dominant wiring? And also, is our mind naturally angry or irritable? Like mine, does it go to the past and want to plan? Those kind of things. We get to know the nature of our minds, and there's so much freedom in that, because the world can be going on in front of us and we can step back and observe it, even sometimes in the really tough stuff, like in relationships and families and in pain even. And I got a touch of that in the middle of my divorce. That's how I knew I had to go further with meditation. And then the fourth aspect of meditation for me, and this is where it becomes difficult to express the words, but you get to touch something else. When you can observe your habitual patterns and you can stand almost separate from them, what seems to happen is there's a detachment from that. It's not me. There's something else to me. And this is, I suppose it starts to bubble up. That's why I put the bubbles on for you today, my glass bubbles from Venice. Because what bubbles up is spontaneous happiness and deep joy. Now, if you have a spiritual practice, a religious practice, many of you will call that divinity or God. Many of you will call it the universe or unity consciousness bubbling up through us. And we have words, because it's wordless, we have words for many of us that describe it. You know, the words that really resonate for me are things like vast equanimity, or sacred happiness, or primordial wisdom. And that's what bubbles up from this quietened mind, the self-observing mind, and just this time of being here and now with your whole being. So that's what comes with kind of the fourth aspect. So it's really these four things, but we go in between them all the time. So in any given day, you know, you're trying to be mindful, like we're sitting here and I'm aware of, you know, sitting on the cushion, and I'm aware of the candle behind me and Yeti snoring in the live. But I'm also, you know, breathing deeply and letting calmness sit in my body. And I'm also watching the stream of consciousness going, oh my goodness, Julia, are you talking too much? Why is the lighting so bad? And then, of course, there's just the delight that comes from being in this space with you. And this is what meditation is for me. I hope it's been useful on Buddha Day to share it with you. And we get to talk about this if you coach with me. How do you develop a contemplative practice that allows your brain to calm down and allows you to start to be able to observe your stream of consciousness and to work purposefully and intentionally with your brain so that you can access that profound happiness? So not hedonistic happiness, but whole being profound happiness that is steady and consistent no matter what's going on in your life. So that's it from me. I thought I wanted to show you one thing. So I have the view behind me, but I also have this gorgeous view here. Let's see if it'll let me spin the camera. I'm so sorry. I wanted to show you Yeti. Who's snoring and fast asleep, my big boy dog. Anyway, blessings today and have a beautiful day. Okay, bye for now.